looking good, kid.
Thank you, sir.
Happy birthday.
Thank you, Peter. It's a pleasure to see you, my brother. Well, first of all, I want to thank all of you for coming tonight. How I got started. My mom and dad picked cotton for a living. They had to pick 100 pounds of cotton a day for $1. Long before I was born, they lived on the farm, and then the guys that brought the coal dipped it out in the backyard. And my brother was 4, and my sister was 3, and he found something other that looked a little bit like a firecracker or something other in the coal yard, and he killed my sister by shooting it with a firecracker. She ran into the kitchen, and he lit it with a splinter. It was a dynamite cap. Blew his eyes out and his fingers off. He was blind the rest of his life. My other brother, at 18, went into the Marine Corps. In Vietnam, a hand grenade blew his right arm off, and he died at a young age. And I started to looking for golf balls for nickels and dimes. Didn't have my own shoes until I was about 12 years old. But I went up there, and the caddies, they were older than I was, the caddies weren't allowed to play, and we'd get around to the back, and they had old wooden clubs and chipped and putt for the nickels, and I'd go walk at night back to my house for 2.5 miles with nothing in my pocket. And the lightning bugs, they looked like ghosts. I didn't get tired of going up the road. I got tired of going up the road broke. And I started to chipping and putting, and no one knew about it. And one time, it was 4 of us, caddied all week long, and we $5 a piece. I says, come on guys, let's go chip and putt. I says, come on sucker, we hadn't had any of your money in a long time. That night, those lightning bugs never looked like a ghost again. Whenever I walked up the road, I had those $4 $5 bills in my pocket. I went down and bought myself, the first thing I've always wanted was a new pair of shoes. I'm walking down the street, and I thought everybody's in the cars looking at my shoes, and I'm trying to stick them out there a little further where they can see. I was so proud. But now, the most I've ever had has been 251 pairs. So, I've caught up a little bit, but not too much. But so finally now the pro took a liking to me, and he said, let me start playing golf, chipping and putting. It was helping me a lot. And when I was 17, I shot 29 in the high school tournament. They said, maybe this kid can play. So they sent me off to Augusta, Georgia to qualify. And I stayed with a buddy of mine down there. Ate at his house. I didn't have any money, and I qualified. I came back to my hometown. My family's got no money, and there was 48 states, and they took like 6 or 8 players from each state, and they sent them to Durham, North Carolina, and you stayed at Duke University. And there was 10 men got together and gave me $10 apiece and sent me there. I played 2 matches a day for 6 days, and I won the championship. But anyway, now that all the colleges wanted me, I went off to the University of Florida. The guy gave me everything in the world down there to go. And I played super. I met a guy in Canada. He didn't want me to turn pro. He was financing me a little bit. He said, I want you to come to Canada and play in a tournament called Canadian Open. I went there, 22 years of age, never played in a professional tournament, and I ended up beating Dow against the wall and then play off to win the championship. And I went on to win 20 tournaments. I played golf with 10 presidents and 1 king around the world, all the celebrities, the astronauts and everything. And I've flown in more fighter planes than any civilian ever in the world. Those are the good things. But the greatest thing of all in my life, people measure wealth by dollars. I'm a little different. I measure wealth by friendship. And all of you out there tonight, you have made me a rich man with all the fun that we've had together, the laughs, the golf courses, and everything we've done. You can't buy friends. Those are the things that's the most important in your life. I can forget about those tournaments I won, but I can't forget about my friends. And you people have given me so much great pleasure. And I'm just delighted. Because to be here, when you reach that age of 80, they say that you should have respect for your elders. Well, every year it's getting harder for me to find them. I'll tell you, when you get older, when you look down at your alligator boots and all of a sudden you realize you don't have any shoes on. Your legs look like, alligators. Done of Arnold Palmer, Lee Trevino, and myself. And I put on there, it says to Lance, it says, good golfing always from your 3 great friends. Doug Sanders. It was really, truly a pleasure. And thank you so much. Thank you, Lance.
Probably more important than that, 21 second places where he didn't win the tournament but came in second. In fact, top 3 finishes, something like 57 over a lifetime. I remember reading an article in Golf Digest that mused on the subject, what would have happened if Doug Sanders had been born 20 years later? And it indicated that probably, with the exception of Tiger Woods and maybe Jack Nicklaus, he would have been the top money winner of all time. Because that's the magnitude of his accomplishments in his record. But rather than focus on that, let me just take 1 second before I show you a little video clip that I want you to see. Doug was a very important part of our family's life. My dad passed away now 2.5 years ago at the ripe age of 92. And knew Doug for 25 years. And my dad was a watchmaker, not an important guy, not a guy with any money, but a very good golfer. And frankly, that's all you have to be to get on Doug's dance card. You just have to appreciate the game. Because this is a guy that has, golf running through every pore and blood vessel in his body. And as my dad got older, 92, he passed away from lung cancer. But in the last years of his life, Doug just stepped up the tempo and made sure he touched base with him, checked on how he was doing, made sure when he could play golf, Doug was there to play golf with him. And I'll be forever grateful. And I've had one ambition as it relates to Doug Sanders God, Doug, I guess we started working on this project a long time ago. It might be 10, 12 years ago. I noticed that Doug had a talent for putting together sports memorabilia. If someone won the Masters or the Open, he'd send them a glove, golf ball, golf bag, and say, would you sign it so we have some record of this accomplishment? And he's got 50,000 items of importance in his collection. And I've been nudging him for years to bring that collection to the public, to have a museum that everybody could appreciate and enjoy. And he's too busy continuing to support the collection, and he's not going to stop. So I think it's sort of up to his friends and to sort of step in and kick this ball down the road a little bit. So I want to show you this clip, and then I'm going to tell you what exactly I have in mind.
And I have worked hard to leave something in the behind.
Only 6 golfers have won 40 or more PGA Pro tournaments. Doug Sanders won 40 PGA championships over a golf career spanning 4 decades. In 1996, Doug underwent major neck surgery that took him away from his first love for 14 months. With time on his hands, he started what is today the most extensive collection of golf and sports memorabilia in the country. Doug Sanders has amassed over 50,000 individual collectibles, including 3,500 autographed golf clubs, together with ones from players from every PGA tournament from the past 20 years, as well as every player from the LPGA tournament for the last 10 years. Autographed gloves from celebrities, presidents, astronauts, NFL players, and tennis professionals. Over 30,000 framed autographed items, including gloves, golf balls, and photos. Unique signed golf bags from previous tournament winners. Presidents, Super Bowl winning teams, and astronauts. Doug's assortment of memorabilia includes over 250 oil paintings. Each one is exclusively designed for the collection. Every framed painting represents a significant event or tournament and is immortalized for the collection. The collection needs a new home. It has outgrown its current 5,000 square foot home at Doug's residence and requires an 8,000 to 10,000 foot facility to properly display the collection and to give it a permanent home. Proceeds from visitors would be adequate to maintain the collection and benefit youth golf programs.
So I'm looking for something like this. this, and I want to be at a place where I leave this, and I'll come there and still sign autographs. Have a place that I can spend the rest of my life, to be there, to be part of it, and see it to continue to grow. If you had this place, someplace like Las Vegas or Palm Springs, any big city, where that you have a lot of tourists to come there, I think it would add so much, because this is the only place like this in the world. It's not just football and baseball and golf, it's presents and astronauts and all walks of life. And that's what I want to do. I want to leave something of it back to someplace that will help them draw, that they can bring something back to the game of golf. But you know, when you win a tournament, that doesn't make you a champion. You win a championship. What makes you a champion is how you live life and what you give back to it. I want to leave this to junior golf. You give some young man, some young lady, an opportunity, as I got in the game, and they too do what I'm trying to do, is to give back something to someone along the way. So that's my dream with all this memorabilia. To put this someplace, this will be one of the biggest draws, I think, in the world.
Those interested can contact Doug Sanders for more information.
A lot of you people might not remember me from the comedy team of Alan and Rossi. I just wanted you to know that I looked a lot better when I was alive. Thank you very much. That's my show. But I liked Vegas a lot better in the old days, when it was a family town. The Gambino family, the Genovese family, the Gotti family. I came to Las Vegas about 55 years ago for arthritis. I finally got it. And it was here in Las Vegas where I had sex for the first time in my life. I remember I was very young, I was nervous, I was frightened, I was alone. My Italian father caught me. He said, you know, Stevie, you keep it doing that, you're going to go blind. I said, Pop, I'm over here. I said, why can't I just go to one of those places where you pay for it? He said, you must have never do that, because at your age, you might see something you should never expect to see. Well, I went anyhow, and I saw something I never expected to see. I saw my father. I said, Pop, I'm over here with Mom and her attorney. Last week, I went to the Medicare office with my wife to find out if I could get additional benefits. And the lady clerk asked me to open up the buttons on my shirt. She looked at the gray hairs on my chest. She said, you definitely qualify for Medicare. I said, thank you very much. As we were leaving, my wife said, you know, it's lucky she didn't ask to see below your belt. I said, why? She said, you could have qualified for total disability. Thank you very much. And it's so great to be here.
Steve Rossi, my good friend. But the best tournament I ever played in was Doug Sanders down in Houston. And I was honored to be the host on the black tie dinner. And I had a friend of mine, Don Callender, would fly Andy Williams and myself down every year. And you were never treated as wonderfully well. And you'd see every president, vice president, all the astronauts. And for 15 years we did that, Doug. And believe me, of all the people I've talked to, that's the best tournament I have ever been to in my whole life. And I mean that. Everybody agrees with that. I would sing at the tournament, and you know, the only one for me can only be you. That's for you, Doug. Thank you. Thank you very much.
There's more. From the non-lyric category of the 1960s, some of the most memorable mumblings ever, from great groups like the Rippingtons. and the Marcells. Ball, 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 ding, 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 boom. Those up must come down. Spinning wheel got to go round.
Once upon a time, I felt so fine. Gonna find a sign to kind of find it. Didn't you?
Mr. Joe Cocker.
What would you do with that thing? I do. Please stand up and walk out on me, yeah, baby.
You make me wanna shout, throw my hands up and shout, put my head back and shout, kick my feet out and shout, yeah. Let me hear you say you will. Let me hear you say you will. Hey, hey, hey. I'm not Ricky Martin, not young Iglesias. I'm just an old fat bald man who loves to shake his ass. I take a shower and my hair goes down the drain, and my cholesterol is driving me insane. I'm a diabetic shame. Old fat short bald stout, living la vida loca. Old fat short bald stout, living la vida loca. Jesus Christ. Drop a can. I checked in here today. As I was checking in, there was a priest checking in front of me. The priest said to the clerk, "I want to be assured that the porn channel here is disabled." The clerk said, "No, it's just regular porn." Georgia, Georgia, the whole day through, just an old sweet song keeps Georgia on my mind. Hi, I'm Scott. I'm one of Doug's friends. How you doing? Nice to see you. Can we sing happy birthday to you? Maybe many more times. But ladies and gentlemen, the one and only 80-year-old Doug Sanders. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Doug. Happy birthday to you. And many more.
Scott Reagan, is he talking out? I told him. Hey, Doug, we love you very much. And you know, it's a pleasure that you're our friend, and it's so much fun to perform for all of your friends. So, you want to say goodnight, and let's go cut the cake.
Okay, well that would be great, but listen, let me ask you something, ladies and gentlemen. Where could you go in and place on three great entertainers like this that come up and just have fun and give you some of the greatest laughs that you remember for a long time? This is what friendship is about. Thank you, John. Thank you all. Thank all of you. Thank you. Good night.
We have, the candles are lit. It's going to be a happy wish. And let's have a drum roll. Come on. Drum roll. Drum roll. Blow out the candles and make a wish. Yay! Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Doug. Happy birthday to you.
Go cut it.
Wherever you like. We'll take care of the rest of it.
Take care of it now. Get in there.